So there's a saying that goes, today's news, tomorrow's fish wrap. So along the lines of this notion, marketing trends and practices wear off quickly. And there is need to rethink strategy and to reassess your performances. So with us, we have a team of specialists that will guide us through the latest trends and practices. And I will let you guys introduce yourselves. Let's start from Alon.
Okay.
My name is Jason Hunt. I'm with
Jason.
Yep, from Toronto, Ontario, Canada. I run a company called Merge Media. It's a collaboration of a social media agency and an SEO agency, helping hundreds of small businesses make the most out of online marketing with a smaller budget.
Hello everyone, my name is Yav Hartman. I'm the CEO at DMIEXPO, where Facebook, soon to become Facebook marketing partner, developing Facebook advertising technologies on top of Facebook. Today managing something like $70 million a month in ad spend. Also an agency owner and doing Facebook ads for more than 7 years already. I'll also have a solo session later on, so that's just about me for now.
Hi, my name is Ira Cohen. I'm Vice President of Business Development and Marketing for a company called MMD Smart. We're an international telecom carrier, and we also specialize in enterprise messaging, helping companies develop a profitable and engaging mobile messaging strategy. I've been in marketing for business technology for the last 25 years, and a lot of experience in a lot of new things.
Hi, my name is Alon. I'm Senior Manager of Performance Strategy at Outbrain. For those of you who do not know Outbrain, Outbrain is one of the leading native discoveries platforms in the world. We serve content recommendations and smart ads across many of the world's most premium publishers. We reach close to 1 billion unique monthly users, and we power marketing activities for brands, affiliates, agencies, and you name it, basically. You can also find us in our booth in the entrance, of course.
Great, so let's start with a general warm-up question. Jason, we'll start from you and we'll just do the round once again. So digital marketing, AI, and all the other digital channels, will they eventually replace the traditional marketing? Or will we always have the good old offline marketing practices that we have now?
It's funny. I don't think that those offline marketing tactics are necessarily going to go anywhere, because really it's it's the variable is the attention that's there. So I mean, any sort of business that we work with on a small business level, if they are spending money on flyers or billboards, we want to complement that with those online efforts. Whether it be, if you're delivering flyers in people's mailboxes, well, getting those zip codes and retargeting those zip codes with very specific Facebook ads that complement the information that's on those flyers. So I don't think traditional is necessarily going to go anywhere. I think it'll definitely decrease in price as the demand decreases, but I don't think it's going to disappear.
Not sure if this, okay, it works. Yeah, in my opinion, first of all, at DMIEXPO, we're already using AI technologies today, from audience classifications to machine learning on pixel data and much more. So we already see that as of today, we're saving around 90% of the work that Facebook advertisers used to do in the past. And I believe that by the end of 2020, we would create a complete autonomous media buying machine, maybe even before. So we're already kind of seeing that we are replacing human work. And for me, this can be already be considered as AI. I see AI in the sense of we're really taking decisions instead of the machine. Sorry, the machine takes a decision instead of human. And I think this trend will just continue to evolve and grow. So yeah, I see a bright future for AI, and people can focus their time. For example, if you're a Facebook advertiser, you'll focus on more on creatives and more on strategy and products and offers, etc. So the machine can do all the work that people used to do.
Working? Yeah, okay. I think that you touched on a really important point. A lot of marketing is local. It's all based on local markets, local communities, local stores, talking to the local community. Even if you work with major brands, as we do in different parts of the world, Pizza Hut in Israel is going to do its own marketing. It doesn't do marketing that Pizza Hut tells them to do necessarily. And McDonald's learned this, Starbucks learned it as they went into new countries. The menu is different, the tastes are different. You can think global but act local in the end. So I think that that's a key point, which is why that physical locality is always going to be a major part of marketing. When you touch it into the fact that today everybody is mobile and how mobile connects to it, and then you can find connectivity between the fact that they're mobile and their locality, then you get a really, really strong marketing push no matter what it is that you're selling. So I think that that's a key point, and that's why I don't think that physical marketing will ever really go away. I think that another thing that we also need to remember is that not everybody is as digital as we are. 50% of the population still has not a smartphone. And so those people, a lot of the digital things that we're doing don't necessarily speak to them, and so that physical marketing piece will still be important in order to get to those markets.
Yeah, so basically, I definitely think that physical marketing and advertising is here to stay as long as as they say, as long as the eyeballs are there. There'll definitely always be a part, or probably a significant part in the mix for physical advertising. I do think that the ability to measure and track will definitely improve. And again, to your point, regarding the ability to go digital and to be able to manage your own digital campaigns in platforms, I think so. One of the major changes that is taking place in the past few years is the relatively ease and the ability for anyone who is, I wouldn't say like clueless, but let's say that buying digital media today in an effective way, in an ROI positive way, is not rocket science, as many of my clients are saying. And I think that as platforms, digital platforms evolve, it becomes really easy. I'm looking at Outbrain, for example, from the place it was 3 years ago to the way the platform is built today. And definitely if you look at Facebook and Google, it's much, much easier to succeed.
Can I add to that, Michael?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, so I think good points. I think one of the elements to consider is community, right? And there's online communities that are formed through the advertising that we're doing online, but traditionally there's the offline stuff. Every single banner out there in the trade show floor, that's traditional marketing there, but you're just trying to cultivate a community. So I think you need to leverage both tactics to do that.
By the way, just to highlight, there are also hybrid models, right? There are things that are between the digital and the physical. Like take sports sponsorships, for instance. You have your digital layers, and you have the actual physical, the jerseys of the players and so on. So there are a lot of hybrid models as well.
Just to go back to that point, on every one of those banner ads that you'll see, there'll be an SMS number, or there'll be some digital link there for you to connect, so that connectivity, the connection between the physical and the digital is going to be, that's going to be around for a long time, because that touches on both of the touch points, what my eyes see and what I want to do later with this information that I have. And that's never going to go away. And to touch to your point, I agree. We've made it much easier. We created a portal for people to do for companies to do mobile messaging, and when we set it up for the developers, basically the MRD said messaging for dummies, right? So that's the thing we need to do, because there are a lot of companies, they're not big brands, they don't have IT companies, they don't have an IT department, they don't have a big marketing department. It's a single guy mom and pop chain, and they still want to be able to do digital marketing or mobile messaging. And so we have to remember that's a big part of our markets, and those are the people who are creating those communities and doing marketing on the local side.
So Yav, let's dive into Facebook. What can you tell us about performance marketing on Facebook right now? What are the do's and don'ts? What are the practices that are kind of trending this year?
Just one more thing to add for the previous topic also. Any one of you, I know there's a bunch of people here doing lead gen, and we talked about online, offline. So for people that are not leveraging offline conversions, I think they're both, of course, supported on Facebook and Google. It's a huge opportunity, because you can then optimize your online campaign according to offline performance data, send Facebook the data of how much those leads are worth for you, and then Facebook will be able to find your potential customers. So this, I think, is one of the biggest bridges gaps. And that's also starting the trend where 2020 goes. It becomes more about the data. So the more data you'll fit into Facebook, the better your performance will work. Also tie into to Facebook your product catalog and pixel and all of those things. So this is obvious. In terms of trends, content becomes key. And it's not just the content now, it's also being able to, an architecture of your ad account, knowing how to set things up and how to personalize content at a scale using all of the Facebook tools that are available. These are the main things we're seeing. And then, of course, it's automation. Business owners cannot afford anymore to sit all day in front of the ads manager, wake up at night to launch campaigns, not be able to go on vacations because they need to track performances. You all know it. I know there's a lot of people here running campaigns. Automation becomes a key, and then you need to find a way that you can really optimize on navigating your business and not optimizing your ad account.
So just to follow up on that, is there still room for organic content? You know, with people complaining all the time that you know, their posts are not as seen as they were in the past, and they don't get that much likes and shares and so on. Is there still room for thought leaders and organic messaging?
For sure, organic content is absolutely necessary. You must be doing organic. First of all, it improves your page score and engagement, which then helps your account to get a better scoring on the algorithm, and then you can run better ads. That's one thing. Second thing, this organic content doesn't cost you anything, and you kind of can see which type of content resonates with your audience. For example, before we scale any type of creative, we first of all start with organic, then we boost it into warmer audiences. We want to see how the audiences interact. We track CTRs and top of the funnel metrics more, and even we run them on PPE campaigns to track engagement. And once we're confident that the mass likes the content and it resonates, then we scale it into the mass and core campaigns of the account. So all of those aspects make organic very, very important. And of course, SEO plays a huge part of organic, which then you can send ads into SEO, which will then index faster and bring you a lot of organic traffic. So both organic ads and this triangle is kind of connected.
Yeah, Jason, just to refocus you on that, if you can also touch upon the other channels besides from Facebook that are generating traffic and are, you know, the good practices of this year.
Yeah, so and to piggyback on that 100% every time, and just to touch on Facebook just for a quick sec, is we use it exactly for that, is to basically test organic content to see what works, see where the reach goes on Facebook, and then double down on the content that actually does work. Also, if you have your Facebook feed or Instagram feed integrated into your website, it's important to constantly have that updated and keeping it consistent. One of the platforms that's really good for organic attention right now is LinkedIn. LinkedIn's huge. LinkedIn's like Facebook in 2014. So you can still get a good amount of free reach on LinkedIn, especially LinkedIn video content. Not posting a YouTube link on your LinkedIn profile, but uploading that video content natively to LinkedIn is going to garner a good amount of reach. But still, don't totally neglect Facebook by any means for the organic, for the reasons that Yehav mentioned there. But also Instagram. Obviously, you need to be consistent on Instagram. Instagram automation kind of got killed earlier this year, but still it's important to continuously get content up there.
So, Ira, we were talking about hybrid models. You're in the business of mobile messaging, SMS, and so on. And, you know, just a second before I entered this venue, I received like 5 messages and I just swiped them and ignored them. So I'm going to be very direct, as we do in Israel, and I'm going to ask you, isn't SMS marketing is dead? I'm guessing you will say not, so explain why not.
If it was dead, then it's surprisingly active for a dead person. So no, but the reason why it has this perception is because it's been around for about 25 years, and so they think, oh, this is old technology. But it's still proven to be the most effective, trusted technology by consumers in all the surveys that were done. We didn't do them, the industry does them. But it's not only about It's not because it's an SMS, it's because it's mobile and it's in my mobile device and it's the native messaging application on my mobile device, and therefore I trust it. And I give permission to the brands that I trust. I give permission to my bank, I give permission to my insurance company, I give permission to my airline to send me messages in a timely and efficient manner when they need to contact me. Because when I'm mobile, I'm mobile. And today it's not only about SMS, by the way. We're actually rolling out now WhatsApp for Business. We have WeChat for the Chinese market. We could do Facebook for messaging. The point of the matter is that mobile messaging is the most effective way to get to my consumer instantaneously. And we're always amazed when we go to events like this, where the digital market. We were in Cologne at DMIEXPO too. And people are not speaking so much about the amazing ability to get amazingly high levels of engagement from the mobile phone. And people are just not using it in the digital marketing world like we would expect them to. And when we began looking at this industry about 3.5 years ago, we were mobile, but we weren't doing direct enterprise. We were amazed that it wasn't spoken about more at conferences. Just the simple numbers are that 95% of mobile messages are looked at. 95%, you have 95% open rate. What other channel are you getting an open rate like that? And what I consider to be the most effective tool for a marketer to understand is 90% of mobile messages, doesn't make a difference how it came into my phone, are seen within 3 minutes. Which means that any campaign you do on mobile, within 3 minutes we know if that campaign is going to be effective because we see the initial CTR and we can say, okay, we need to tweak this campaign. And so now we're offering, you spoke about hybrid, now we're offering an omni-channel. The previous speaker spoke about voice. So you can do voice messaging together with SMS, together with WhatsApp, together with WeChat. However your customer journey is progressing, whatever the conversation is that you want to have. We're now also employing chatbots in mobile messaging. So WhatsApp will have chatbots. SMS, the new SMS, which maybe we'll talk about a little bit later, will have chatbots involved in it as well. And so now you have this conversation on mobile in real time wherever your customer is. And then the data that we can take from that and we can work on that data is just an amazing tool for marketers. And we're just always amazed that people in the digital marketing area are not using mobile more.
You mentioned RCS in our talk before. Can you elaborate on that?
Sure, we're actually very involved in the standardization of this in the global stage. So RCS is actually a standard that was developed by a company called Jibes in the United States, which Google bought about 7 years ago. Google realized that if they wanted it to become a native messaging application, they would have to get the entire mobile community involved in it. And so GSMA, which is the association of all the mobile network operators in the world, there are 871 whatever mobile network operators, they took this on, and it's very difficult to get 871 mobile operators to agree on anything. But actually this will be in the new, it's in the new standard for the GSM, which is the mobile standard that we all use. And in the 5G standard, it will be required for all mobile phones that support 5G to have this native messaging application. What this opens up is it's a fully imaged. You can have videos in it. You can have buttons. Pay now. Call me now. You can set up two-way chatbots through it. In fact, one of the reasons why Google is involved in this, what's going to happen is when I'm looking for a hotel room in Valencia, and I type hotel room in Valencia, instead of it bringing me a website, it'll bring me the Booking.com chatbot. So we'll start this conversation with me. When do you want to have? Or any of the brands that I commonly use. And that's why Google is really involved in this. And that's coming in now. It's active now. There are 10 countries in the world that fully support it. Google is now rolling it out throughout the world. And within 2 years, it'll be fully supported in every country, including in Israel. And you'll be able to have this two-way multimedia conversation with your customers on the native messaging application.
Thank you. So Alon, about the merger, can you share some figures? No, I'm just kidding. Along the lines of the merger, so people are obviously curious to see what things you're going to introduce this year and how it's going to change your product, if any. Can you share some details about that?
Okay, so so obviously there are many things that are still vague, so we're not completely sure, about the actual effect on the roadmaps and specific products and innovation, but we can definitely say that this is really a great opportunity, I think. We are bound to see much faster innovation paced once this is concluded. And really, I think that the merger it can be like a great opportunity, whether you are a marketer who can have now much more scale using one platform, which is obviously something that we are all looking for, or if you're a publisher who can now enjoy a partner that is stronger, that can innovate much faster and bringing a more diverse demand that can translate to higher RPM, or of course, if you're even a user, an end user who actually end up clicking recommendations across our smart feeds. So in the end of the on the end of the way, it's basically a network effect. So the more data we have, the larger we are, the better we are able to personalize the recommendation we offer to each one of you to drive better user experience and to drive better results. But again, much of it is still vague, to be completely honest. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. So one of the key tools that a marketer has, either if you're in the field of SMS marketing or native or whatever, is basically databases. So last year or even before that, we saw GDPR kicking in, and people were very concerned about it. And how can you summarize, after more than a year of working with GDPR, in terms of the costs, in terms of what you can and cannot do right now? Who wants to take this?
Hello. Okay. So we obviously we work all over the world. So we work in Europe, which is the GDPR, and we actually were in discussions about how GDPR would affect our business for about 2 years beforehand. And we had all the legal counsels, etc. Basically, for us, it didn't really affect that much because we never really store our customers' data. We have mobile numbers. We don't know who the people are behind those numbers. So we don't really have any data that we can share with people, and we certainly don't share those numbers. So for us, GDPR compliance was actually very simple. We know with our partners who have customer data, which includes payment data in many cases, because there's carrier payment involved, that they've gone through hell in the last year. They've had a lot of their marketing has totally stopped it because they had to rethink everything that they were doing. And then on the back end, the collection of data has become almost impossible in some cases. You never know where the GDPR commissioner is going to come down and cut you down. A similar thing, by the way, is happening now in North America. Canada has probably the most draconian privacy laws, data privacy laws. And the United States now with TCPA is getting close to there. And then you have each individual state now has lots of different laws. So that entire environment has made it difficult for a lot of companies that are storing customer data.
Yeah.
So for us at Outbrain, you can only, pretty similar to what Ira says, GDPR is something that we prepared for I think around over a year before it actually happened. Today I think that we can say that we don't see like any specific negative effect on the ability to target users or the ability to deliver performance to marketers. There is some effect, but I think that if you probably took like 100 marketers who are working with us and you try to get their feedback on performance pre-GDPR and post-GDPR, you won't hear any complaint, and probably the chances are that in most cases the performance even got better, because for us it's really the ability to be able to manage the data that we manage that allow us to deliver personalized results. In the end of
and in terms of the costs, did you see a spike on that side?
The cost, you mean for
storing the data and managing the data and executing certain practices?
Yeah. So obviously this is something that was invested, like a very large investment was put into this. But we look at it as basically an ongoing effort. As you see all those privacy-related moves. If you look at the GDPR, then what's happening in Canada and the US, what is happening with the Chrome and Safari and Mac OS. So. There always will be, obviously, all the time there will be like the next big privacy-related thing that we will have to address to. So I think that for all platforms, this is just something that they understand that they have to constantly be active upon, and there is a certain cost to it, which is basically something that we integrate within our development and data management, and we are all for it. I mean, in the end of eventually this is for the best, I think.
I think where it has affected is on the second stage of it. And that's because what GDPR really came was to stop the cross-fertilization of data, right? So his company shares with his company. So that's where GDPR really came for me, not to be able to sell off the data, and that's affected
Are you referring to like second-party data?
Yeah, the second level of the GDPR. It's not just my company keeping my data, my customers' data. It's what I do with it further on, right? The same thing in the United States with the healthcare data. So you can't share that with anybody, not even the doctor, without written permission from the patient. So I think it was what happened on that second level, and that second level also made it much harder for lead generation, because the data from lead generation was just less, because there was less of it available. And I think that's where it's affected, maybe.
A very interesting topic right now, it's only in the beginning, but there's much chatter about it, is Google's dominance. So we see a few trends that are going on right now. First of all, other search engines are constantly optimizing their game, like Bing, for instance, and you see some alternative search engines like DuckDuckGo with this kind of privacy advantages, and also some regulatory moves that we saw recently that, for instance, are obligating Google to offer other search engines to their users on Chrome and so on. So my question is, do you see any decline in Google's dominance on the search engine arena, if any, or will we see it in the future? Yav, you want to take this?
Sure. First thing in regards to Google, I think they're making, so maybe there's a trend that other search engines are rising, but one of the biggest things I'm seeing now on the Google platform, and we're like Facebook experts, but we're running also Google for ourselves, is that they're actually, it seems like they're learning from Facebook on how to improve their algorithms, how to think about AI, campaign objectives. So it's undoubtable that Google has a lot of real estate, from the search, from the GDN to YouTube and all of their assets. So now they just need to optimize those placements, to optimize this real estate, and follow the practices that Facebook has done, which then would lead to better performance for advertisers, which then will let Google stretch it even more in terms of increasing CPMs and the user monetization.
Yes. Yeah, it seems like Google's just always trying to play catch up. You know, they got the Google My Business, posting now on there, and the whole Google Plus failure. You know what I mean? They are trying to catch up to the social media platforms. Naturally, Google's always just going to be a reactive platform, reactive to somebody typing something in a search engine, where social and Facebook is always being proactive, getting out in front of it. So it's, I'm no Google ad expert. They're in the office back in Toronto, but definitely likewise ourselves, we do a lot for our own campaigns. So.
Okay, so we have time for one last question, and I want it to be somewhat of a forecast for 2020. I'm wondering what will we see in 2020, and what are the trends that we should focus and watch in 2020 in terms of technology, or maybe regulations, or other practices that are to be seen in the upcoming year.
I think that people are now becoming more and more numb to the noise in social media. I mean, the news feed, advertisements, people need to think outside of the box and really guide a user down the journey of becoming a customer. Just selling so soon to somebody is it just doesn't work anymore. You need to build a brand first and be brand centric and let people know you because of the value that you bring them, as opposed to trying to sell them a discount 15% off offer. I think those are just going to become more and more less effective. Also expanding on other platforms, like depending on who your target audience is. If you're after a younger demographic, TikTok is obviously a huge platform. We're set up on there. And maybe not in 2020, but more like 2021 to 2025, what's going to happen to that younger demographic of people as they evolve past TikTok? They're not interested in Facebook. The behaviors of people on Facebook, for the most part, are people that have a tendency to scroll, stop on content, consume the content, on to the next one. Fastest growing demo on Facebook are women and men 50 plus. right? Millennials are on Instagram. They just want to consume content real quick, on to the next one. So it's thinking about those behaviors as we enter into the next year and where your business, which platform best suits your business.
Yeah.
So you're asking about the future, like what do we see in 2020?
Kind of a forecast for 2020, technology, trends, etc.
So yeah, I mean, again, I'm a big believer in AI and autonomous, like just like Tesla is developing self-driving cars. I don't think that it will be a big issue for us to develop a self-optimizing ad account with Magix, where at the end of the day, it's really about breaking down all the different areas, different decisions, and different tasks that a Facebook media buyer is doing. So for example, it would be audience creation and bidding optimization and creative insights and tailoring creative to audiences and structuring that account in the best way and basically enabling scaling strategies and knowing like how to act. All of those things are things that Facebook advertisers do today manually according to some knowledge they got from Facebook groups and some gurus and agencies and like people that are like heavy hitters and big spenders. Then you just take this knowledge, and if you're lucky, you have this knowledge, and then if you're lucky, you can also apply it properly. So I just see kind of like a shorter gap between the knowledge and the execution, which I believe that technology would enable. And this will close the gap. It will reduce the time people spend on the ad accounts, and then people can focus on stuff that machines cannot yet do, which is mainly creative today and business strategy.
So one of the things that you mentioned, I totally agree. I think that the focus needs to be on the customer journey, having this ongoing conversation. Marketing, as we know, is always a lot of touch points until there's an awareness, until I go to purchase. And I think that the ability for me to manage that customer journey in real time as the customer goes through the different touch points until they make that purchase decision is going to be a key part of marketing for a long time. We have so many tools now that allow us to follow that journey and follow those different touch points. And I don't think that's going away. Another point that was raised here, I know what's happening in the mobile space in the future. We're going to be doing everything by voice because the NLP technology is just getting that much better. We're able now to filter out the background noises. We're going to be doing everything with voice. We already can do a lot of it. Alexa has worked a lot towards those type of devices. The Google, Help Me Google has gone a lot in that direction. We're going to be doing everything on our phone via voice, which is a natural way for us to do it. Instead of having to stop and look at it, we'll be able to bark those commands and things will happen based on what we ask them to do. And that's also going to be, the previous presenter showed chatbots that are also sounding more and more human and will have AI built into them. And the last point that was also sort of raised here, I think that AI is going to be in everything that we do. I know already what's happening in our space. We also have AI chatbots now built into our messaging space. We're able now to take all of this database of hundreds of millions of numbers or billions of numbers that we have, and we know the behavior of that number. This number, doesn't buy sweaters in the month of November, so don't send this offer to them to buy a sweater in the month of November. Well, this person looks at their mobile messages at 7 o'clock in the morning or at 8:30 in the evening, which is when most people look at their mobile messages. And so that's the best time to send them. And we don't know who the person is, but we can automatically assume from the behavior of that number where that's going. And by applying AI there, we can come up with really great insights to the marketers who use our technology.
Are you guys doing like send time optimization?
We do real-time optimization.
I want to leave time for Alon to respond.
Yeah, so obviously AR, VR, AI, these are the things that come up in Google when I Google for the next big thing in 2024. But no, seriously, just going back to Jason's point, I think that as social media is becoming pretty crowded in terms of advertising, so naturally there are always other social channels, whether it will be within the Facebook family of apps or with LinkedIn, for example. But I think we are bound to see like some major shift in budgets to the open web outside of the walled gardens of Google and Facebook into other platforms that can actually help you manage this funnel that starts with the top of the funnel and then some sort of consideration and then action. And with these types of marketing needs, I think that definitely native discovery platforms can play a huge role.
So unfortunately, we're out of time. Thank you.